William Chumley. I'm the Chief Customer Officer with the Governor's Office of Information Technology of the state of Colorado. The service desk manager. Most valuable features that we're finding right now are the customer service portal and the ability to have kind of a one-stop shop experience, and that's what we're using the tool for. There have been a lot of upgrades in the last year or so that have let us be much more customer friendly and create a portal that's easier for our citizens and state employees to use. The benefits are, if you go back a year, we'd have 20,000 tickets a month, and we were having to track each ticket individually. And using the new integrated portal, we're able to combine those into workflows and actually track a user's experience from the start to the finish. We were finding that we had to try to look for individual tickets, and maybe people were closing tickets when they finished their part, but it didn't give us the whole picture. So we've really been able to get at the metrics of a full service experience. That's been our prime focus over the last year. I think the stability of the solution is pretty good. We've not had any major issues. I think that it's been stable and consistent and pretty quick response times. Scalability, I think, has done a reasonable job for us. We're kind of at the beginnings of standing up. We've stood up about 15 workflows, and we want to get to 30 or 40. So it's not been that challenging for us to make that happen. What we've learned is that the tool can do what we want, but you have to make the business process changes and establish the workflows. Getting the process defined and people to work in the new way has been the real challenge. We do have access to their architecture team specifically and do need to talk to the technical support staff. They've been able to help us through anything that we have challenges with, from little problems to bigger issues. What we've really seen is the architect help at the beginning has really helped make our solutions better even before we implement them. I like to call, as we are establishing what is our operating model, and I call it our ecosystem. And so we really worked with the CA architects to design what that should look like, how it would integrate with other existing software and tools. We built a picture so everyone could understand this is what we're building, just like a real architect plan would be. And it let us have a roadmap for a few years and go to our state legislature and get money to actually implement something. I think we're a year and a half into our big implementation of that whole ecosystem. I think initially we probably had some bumps and it was a little bit slow based on we were in the cloud and we migrated it back into our data center so that we could see growth and speed and improvements there. I think that we did use some other vendors to help us implement some of the solution, and some of those people or those groups were not as strong as we might have wanted. But I think everything from CA's perspective has been pretty strong. The one element that we've wanted to see improved and we've really worked with them on is the user interface is what I like to call a little clunky. And so we are consistently working with them and the product marketing people to make it better. I think that the big thing that our groups are asking for all the time is everything mobile, everything on your phone. I think they've told us the next upgrade in some of the base system would give us some of the answers, but I'm not sure if that's true yet or not. We want people to be able to check in and check out on their jobs and their projects, and that would be something our infrastructure team has asked us to look for and really encourage them to put into the next release so that we can track our time better and build the customers better. Mostly it was a financial forecast, looking at how much it was costing us to do that. Also, we're working in Colorado to set up our own cloud services, and maybe that we offer to the counties and to other state or other cities inside Colorado. So it was just time to put that into our data center and a little bit more in our control. But really it was a cost scenario where it saved us money to convert those licenses, and better idea for 2 or 3 years, and then we can look at where we could be in the future. Maybe the cloud's providers were not as advanced as we might have wanted at the time. We really looked for the capabilities of integrating with other systems. There were a lot of interfaces already defined, easy ways to leverage. We had VMware internal to the infrastructure team already. timekeeping systems. We probably had 2 or 3 of their products already, so it was easier to add the others rather than completely change it altogether, even though we're completely open to the future looking at what is possible. But right now it made sense for us to work within the existing suite. In the state government funding models, we have to plan 18 months in advance. You're never really current, if that makes sense. So we look for mature tools rather than bleeding edge solutions because we can't take the risk. I think we were certainly looking at ServiceNow as a possibility, and they would be a good provider and could meet a lot of our potential solutions. We couldn't replace things that we already had with CA, so it was an easier transition to use what we had. I think it's a 7 or 8, given that it certainly does what we need it to do, but I don't know if it's anything spectacular. It seems like it integrates things rather than really operates in more new and modern ways that I think the current population wants. Maybe that's a perfect fit for the state employees who are kind of a mixture of that, but I think that we would want to see continual improvement and really think differently, kind of in the way that mobility needs to operate. I think I would really look at the business process first, and then what are you willing to do and what are you willing to change? There are a lot of solutions that are possible. I think the CA suite really does work well, but you have to kind of work at it. You have to be willing to bend to any solution's workflows, and so I think you just have to look for the one that's the best fit for your willingness to change.